All right, welcome back, everybody. Today we got a special training with the one and only Brandon Young. How's it going, Brandon?
Great. Thanks for having me, Gary. Good to see you, man.
Yeah, good to have you back. Today, Brandon's going to give you a brand new training, and he's going to share something that I think is relevant to all Amazon sellers. And today, he's going to really help you understand the fact that we've solved Amazon's ranking algorithm, and he's going to give you a step-by-step instruction to dominate your niche. All right. So, as we're coming in, if you can kindly mute your mics. And Brandon, where are you joining us from today?
I'm in Miami, home base. I have an office here in Doral. If anyone's familiar with South Florida, it's West Miami.
Excellent, excellent. I'm joining in from Tokyo on the other side of the world. And I see we have a lot of people in the room joining us live already. If you can type your name and where you're joining us from, that would be great. And we will also love to see your faces if you like to turn on your camera because Brandon really wants this to be an interactive workshop and he's going to ask you guys for some feedback about, product ideas. So we're really going to make this a live case study and a live example. So again, today, if you're just joining us now, he's gonna share with you the secrets of Amazon's ranking algorithm, and you'll get step-by-step instructions how to increase your organic rank to dominate your niche. And then he's really gonna use a live example on Amazon to really dissect it, dive in, and then he's going to break it down to an actual set of components so you can really influence your rankings and do it yourself. And then he's also going to show you so you can learn how to dominate and maintain the dominance once the top spot has been achieved. All right. So for those of you guys joining us, I'm meeting Brandon the first time. Brandon Young is an award-winning Amazon seller and consultant, and he's one of the leading experts in the Amazon private label and Amazon SEO industry. And his brands have sold um, more than 30 on spot to achieve $30 million in 2023. He has many, many accolades that we don't have time to get into right now. I think, but one of the keys is, I mean, not only is he practicing what he's preaching, he's also showing us how to do this. And then last year, with the help of his CTO, Florian, Brandon and his wife, Jennifer, launched Data Dive. So this is one of the most powerful product research and optimization tools for Amazon sellers right now. So he's also going to give you a walkthrough how you can do this yourself. All right. So Brandon, before we get started, who is this training for today and why is this so important? Oh, you're muted.
Yeah, my approach with Amazon when I teach it is that if it's always going to be at a high level. So whether you're a beginner or an advanced seller, you need to be able to approach this business and understand the data behind it at a very high level. Otherwise, I don't think you should do the business. The reality is, if you don't understand the data and you don't make the right decisions on products, you're going to be behind the sellers that do that, and you're just lighting your money on fire the majority of the time. So I really want this. This is going to be for someone who's just getting ready to start on product selection and understanding the algorithm and competitors and optimization, or someone who's already doing 7 or 8 figures that really wants to, fill in some knowledge gaps and learn how to maybe take a product to the next level.
Excellent. And we had over 200 people RSVP for this live training. And some people are going to watch on the replays. And then I took a look at the demographics, Brandon, just so you know, about 26% are doing upper 6 figures to 7 figures. About another 21% are in the 6 figure range. So roughly half are about 6 to 7 figures. The other half are getting started, just so you have an idea of where we are. And some quick shout outs to the people joining us live. Welcome Tara in Ohio, Jason from California, John from Lake Tahoe, June from New Jersey, and Stephen from California. So we got a world audience today. Super excited. Without further ado, Brandon, would you like to go ahead and share your screen to start the training today?
Yeah, absolutely. I'll take it away. Thank you so much, Gary. Good to see you. Yeah, so just quick introduction. I think Gary already introduced me, so I can skip this part. I've got a large coaching community. I've taught tens of thousands of people how to sell. The the key is that, I sell myself. So I understand what it takes to find a product that's most likely to be profitable, how to rank it. And then that's what I teach, is what I actually do. And then our software data dive that Gary mentioned is really just the automation of those processes, because we would take a ton of data from Helium 10 and from other sources, and we would manipulate that data into a more readable or actionable plan. And then we would, be able to make decisions on that data in the way that we would manipulate it. Data Dive just does that automatically for you and more. So it's then my team gets to use it. So it's a really nice flywheel that we've created where everything is related. Now, I think that what's really important is to understand how ranking works on Amazon. And you have to understand that keywords on Amazon are the foundation of pretty much everything you need to know about how Amazon works. It is a search engine. It is not just a marketplace. And so there will be hundreds and hundreds of keywords that people are using to find the same product. And they will search those different keywords in many different ways at many different, many different amounts per month. And so you need to understand how many different ways are people searching, how are the current sellers getting their sales, and can I beat them? Are they doing a good job at ranking? And so you really need to be able to paint the whole picture there. And you need to understand that when Amazon wants to decide what products show up first on different search terms, what they're doing is they're running an algorithm to determine who should be ranked ahead of who. And so that algorithm is this. It is going to be performance times relevancy. Now, performance is going to be the click-through rate. And the click-through rate, if you see it here, is going to be the total sessions divided by the total impressions. So every single time it shows up on a page and every single time someone clicks on it. Now, the conversion rate is going to be every single time someone clicks into the listing and what percentage of the time do they actually buy it. So sessions would be whenever they get a session on the detail page, and then how many times did they buy it. So it's purchases divided by sessions. Now, your revenue is just straight top line revenue. How much money did you generate? And Amazon cares a lot about revenue because they get a percentage of that. So they want products that are making a lot of money on Amazon because they make a lot of money in turn. Now, the relevancy side is going to be the relevancy of the keywords as determined by the algorithm. So if we take a look at this algorithm or this ranking formula, we can understand that the better we are performing and the more money our product is making, we will rank ahead of other products if relevancy is the same. Now, if I've got a dog bed and I'm converting well, people love my dog bed, and it's an expensive dog bed, I'm making a lot of revenue, that doesn't mean I'm going to be able to rank on a keyword like dog toy, which is like an $8 or $10 product. Because dog toy is that keyword is not going to be relevant to my dog bed. And Amazon's going to know that in a number of different ways. It's going to know it based on the subcategory I'm in, which is really important for you to understand that there are certain keywords that are kind of mapped to different subcategories. And it's going to be based on the way that I write my listing. Amazon's algorithm is going to read the listing and then determine what you're selling and determine what keywords are the most relevant and least relevant and give you what we call a relevancy score on every keyword. So the relevancy score can be 1 as the highest. So you're basically multiplying times your conversion, your click-through rate, and your revenue, so times your performance. Or it could be less than 1. And if it's less than 1, then it's going to reduce the value that you're generating. So if I've got a low relevancy score for a keyword for that dog toy, my dog bed is not going to be able to rank on it no matter how good it's performing and how much money it's making, because it's being reduced by a lower score. So the way that this looks over time, though, is that it's not just the yesterday's score that determines where you rank. It's going to have to be the average over a period of time. But to make it even more complicated and probably more accurate for Amazon is that it's not just one average. It's many averages. So they've got a 1-day average, they've got a 3-day average, they've got a 7-day, 14, 30. And all of these averages are being averaged together to determine the relevancy times the performance. And as you get older, as you get to further out averages, it's weighted less. So your 3-month average is not as important as your 30-day average. And your 7-day average is more important than your 30-day average. But the 30-day average is still pretty important. So the reason that people will really struggle when they launch a product on Amazon sometimes is because they don't purchase enough units. They run out of stock. And when you run out of stock, what you can see here is that this 30-day average is like a magic number. And so you've got a 1, a 3, a 7, a 14-day average. You got a bunch of averages in there in the first 30 days. But once you're out of stock for more than 30 days, all these averages are accumulating zeros. So if you run out of stock, you get a 0 for your 1 day. You run out of stock for 3 days, you get a 0 for your this average. Now you're getting a bunch of zeros averaged into your ranking performance, your ranking average for your performance. And it's going to be harder to maintain your ranks over time. Even when you get right back in stock, you got to really spike the algorithm and get moving again. But if you're out of stock for more than 30 days, you've got a lot of zeros and you've fallen a lot usually. And it takes 30 or more days of good averages to get back to where you were, because you got to start filling in the gaps again with non-zeros. So this is a really simple algorithm as far as algorithms go. It's a simple concept, but it is complicated in some ways. So I want to maybe pause here real quick and see if there's any questions on how how Amazon ranks products on keywords. And remember, they're doing all these averages on every keyword. Every single keyword, you're getting an average of your performance. Any questions on this one so far?
So, Brandon, if I understand correctly, 30 days is the magic number, right? So if we're out of stock more longer than 30 days, it's really more difficult to climb up that hill to get your rank back. Is that right?
Yeah, that's a really bad number to hit, right? Like you want to try to extend your inventory out, raise your price, turn off PPC. You really want to slow down. If you have to slow down sales and your performance drops a little bit, it's better than being out of stock. Because if you're out of stock for 30 days, it's really hard to get that average to jump back in and start selling again. And so that's kind of the magic number.
Makes sense. All right. I
All
see
right. We'll talk a
that
little bit. Go
sorry,
ahead.
there was a question from Jason who asked, is that click-through rate, conversion rate, PPC, or ORG, and what's
That's
your
going to be the
target
average
conversion
of
rate?
organic. Yeah, it's going to be the average of organic and PPC, which is important, right? So this is a really good point you bring up, Jason. What I want to bring up to that point, and I think you need to make this point, is that this is an average performance of your listing, which incorporates your organic and your PPC. Now, your PPC usually performs at a lower conversion rate and click-through rate than your organic. So if your product relies too heavily on PPC to get clicks and sessions and sales, then you're going to have a lower average than the competitors who are ranked organically well, because organically they're just going to naturally perform better than you. So you're going to be running uphill trying to chase a bestseller that's ranked well already. It's going to be a very difficult task that you can often not overcome. So you really need to know, how else can you beat them? How can you get your metrics better than theirs if you're selling something that's very similar with similar value? You have to have a better price. You have to have a better offer. You have to win on more keywords that are maybe longer tail that convert even higher to increase your average. So it is an average of organic and pay-per-click, and it really comes down to how those two blend together across all keywords in order to boost your ranks versus the competition.
Excellent. All right. Thanks for your question, Jason. Jason says thank you. And Oksana says, so don't get out of stock.
Yeah,
Yes.
don't get out of stock. I'm going to show you how to calculate how many units you need to order a little bit later. But one of the first things I want to do, I want to get some suggestions. So I'm going to get some suggestions for a product, and I want to run an analysis on the market. I want to just on the spot in this class, let's do a workshop style where we choose a product as a group. I'm going to deep dive that product and I'm going to analyze the competitors and determine why someone's winning and why someone's not winning. And then that way you can kind of get an idea of what you're doing. So if you guys have a couple suggestions on a niche or a product that you want me to do an analysis on, go ahead and put it in the chat and we'll choose one.
All right, now's your time. Let's vote. What would you like?
All right.
Rita says bully sticks. Daphne, plant holder. Julie, calming dog chews. June, soap dispenser. Gary, powered speakers. Casey, dog toy. Tim, gutter guard. Leaping, dog collar. Jason, sprinkles for cake decorating.
All right. What do you think, Gary? You want to do the calming dog chews?
Yeah, that sounds interesting.
I've never done that one.
Yeah.
Nice, nice butt
Nice.
box.
Oksana said nice butt box. I'm not sure what that is. I don't know if
I
that's
do not know what it
gonna be
is. Is that a
I
box
don't
you
know
put
if
a
that's
nice
gonna
butt
be
in?
like an adult product that would really cripple us if so. Yeah. What do
All
you think,
right.
Brandon?
All right, let's do the calming chews.
All right.
All right, so I've come over here to Amazon, and what you're seeing here is as I started to type in calming chews, I think this is really important. You've got 4 dogs and 4 dogs anxiety. Please, as sellers, really, really, really important tip. Pay attention to the autofill. The autofill, these autofill searches will get more searches than regular keywords on a regular basis. They will be very important. But here's the thing. Amazon changes the autofill sometimes. So you need to go into your keywords, to your product, and you need to start filling it out and see if it's changed. Because what will happen is you'll have a keyword that looked like it had a lot of search volume when you first launched your product. You prioritized it, you put it at the beginning of your title, and you ranked well for it. And now your sales go down, your sessions go down. You don't know why. And it could be because that autofill that you prioritized is no longer the autofill. So you need to go back into your title and change it to the new autofill, and that might make a lot of difference. So pay attention to the autofill. Now we're gonna do calming chews for dogs, and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna use Data Dive for this exercise, and you'll see that these buttons down here pop up. This is Jungle Scout. I love Jungle Scout as well, so I use both. And Jungle Scout's not loading for me, but what I'll do is I'm gonna look at these calming chews, and this is Keepa. So when I hover over I have Keepa installed as an app as well. It's like $5 a month, I think, and I can see the sales over time. This looks like a new listing, right? 50 reviews, not a lot. You can see they've really started to make a lot of sales more recently. Now they're ranked towards the top. So I want to see how they're doing it. But I'm going to hit this button here, which says add to Data Dive's Ace and Trey. Now, my goal is to pick the top 20 sellers of these calming chews for dogs, right? Because I want to know how are the top 20 sellers getting their sales. If I can reverse engineer how one seller is getting their sales, that's okay. That's not a full picture. I don't really know the market. I really want to know a market analysis. And so once you combine the data from the top 20 guys, now you really understand the market. You really understand the niche. And you can see how good everyone really is. Are you shooting for third? Are you shooting for fifth? Like, really, how competitive is it? So we're really going to look at the data in a second. And so let's take a look here. Maybe this is available. I gotta log into. I don't know why this isn't working. Okay. Let me use mine. So we have a tool called Divebox. Looks very familiar. It's similar to like Jungle Scout's tool or X-Ray. We add a couple more really cool lines in here that they don't use. And what we're looking for are the best sellers. So we automatically sort by sales. What I'm also going to do is I'm going to load page 2 as well, because sometimes good sellers will be ranked well on a different keyword. So what I'm looking for sometimes is like who has an advantage on a fulfillment standpoint. So I can quickly just scroll to the right. I can see that they are large standard. Here's their fulfillment weight. They're all under £1. This guy's really light. And so I can really see what the fulfillment fees are And sometimes you'll find, like, I'll give you an example of something I found, which was pretty cool one time. There was a stairs for dogs, and one seller had figured out how to vacuum seal the stairs and had a fulfillment fee like $15 less than everybody else, right? He could sell the product for $10 less and still make more money. So that's the type of advantage that sometimes can really come from looking at data like that. But now we're going to look, and we've got quiet moments, calming. I guess these are calming. These are supplements. Is this the same thing? Yeah, these are chews, right? So I'm going to hit this green button to add it to tray right here, because I want to add all these really good guys to tray. Now, what I'll normally do here, which is really important, is I'm going to go to the subcategories that these could be in, because and other keywords. Because what happens is the best sellers sometimes don't rank for the same keyword, right? That's the type of hole we're looking for, that we can fit in, that we can beat them on. So we need to look at multiple keywords. We need to look at multiple subcategories sometimes to find the best sellers, because they're going to be scattered. And if we can piece together what one set of guys are doing really well in one with one set of keywords, and what these other sellers are doing in another keyword, and we can combine them and be good at both, that's where we can really have an advantage sometimes. So we really want to do that. Now we're still doing over 4,000 units, over 100 units a day on these guys. And they all seem really, these all seem really relevant. So we're still adding them. Now we've got a bunch added already. I'm going to look at the subcategories. So if you, you got dog relaxants as the main subcategory, but you've got dog multivitamins here too, right? So let me open up this guy to go get the dog multivitamins, and let me go to dog relaxants. Those seem to be the two main subcategories. Dog relaxants and dog multivitamins. So I've got dog multivitamins. Those are the two subcategories. So I'm gonna choose both. And this is the most intensive time that we do, or that we spend, is really seeding our data. It's really important you do it correctly. So I'm gonna see the top 100 in dog multivitamins. Now it's interesting because there was a second category there. So let me go back. There was a dog multivitamins and dog hip something.
Dog relaxants.
Here's dog relaxants. So I'm gonna go to dog relaxants, but I'm gonna go to dog hip and joint care, and I'm gonna go to dog multivitamins. Now I'm in 3 subcategories looking for these chews, and I'm gonna look for ones I haven't already added. So this is just vitamins. So this is a multivitamin. This is glucosamine and joints, supplement, joint. None of this is calming. Yeah, I don't see any of these to be calming, digestive, pain relief. This has aspirin. Yeah. So I think this one's fine. We're going to go to this one. This is the hip and joint care. This one, let's see. This will have glucosamine, but maybe it's got some calming in it. And that might be something you want to combine. If this is glucosamine is really good, and they want calming, maybe you can kill 2 birds with 1 stone. Zesty paws, hip and joint care, soft chews. Yeah. So I think the relaxant's going to be the one. So we're here in the relaxants, calming care supplements, 30 count box. And look at this. This number 1 seller and the number 3 seller, the number 4 seller, these are not added to our dive yet, because they were maybe ranking for other keywords, or there's another variation, but this guy was not. So yeah, we missed this one doing it the other way. So that's why it's really important. This one's for cats, so that's not for dogs. And what's interesting is if maybe the formula is similar for cats and dogs, you can rank for both, right? Those are drops. Calming hemp treats. We have another variation on that listing. So it seems like they have different variations, probably like counts and stuff. Calming. We don't want drops. Okay. This one has cats and dogs on it. See? So they're doing that approach and they're making $50,000 a month. All right. So now we're going to do our dive. I'm going to go to my ASIN tray. I'm going to create a new niche, and I'm going to call it calming treats for dogs. And I'm going to dive. Now, within 60 seconds, I'm going to pick apart all of these competitors, and I'm going to reverse engineer how all of them are ranking and all of them are getting their sales. And that's going to really give me, and then I'm going to take all that data because they could be ranked for thousands of keywords, but they might be on page 15 for most of those, right? So those aren't relevant keywords that drive sales. What I'm going to do then is also use that data from all of them to sort it to only the relevant keywords that drive sales. And I'm going to be able to see who's doing a good job, who's doing a bad job, and why. Did we have any questions come in the meantime?
There was an earlier question from Julie. Does Helium 10 or any other tool give autofill insights?
I don't think so. And maybe that's something we can look into in data dive. I think that would be pretty neat to have an AI go and start typing in a search term and basically like prioritize autofill. That's a really good suggestion.
Yeah, thanks, Julie. We'll make a note of that. And Jason asks, why do 25 when you can do top 10?
So the more data you have, the better your data is just going to be. Like that's just the bottom line, right? Like if I only look at the top 10 sellers and I missed another 5 or 10 sellers, I'm really missing how another 5 or 10 guys are getting their sales, and it could be other ways. So there are going to be gaps sometimes in my data the less sellers I use. So the more sellers, the more complete the data. What is AMZ Expander? I've never heard of that.
I've never heard of it either. Jason, you want to share?
Is that like a reverse ASIN tool like Cerebro?
Yeah, it's just exactly what the question was. I mean, it has insights for the filler on Amazon, the autofill.
Autofill. So it had to do with autofill. AMZ Expander. That's cool.
Yeah, the AMZ suggestion expander. It's a Chrome tool.
Yeah, I'll have to look into that.
Cool.
This is taking
Thanks,
longer
Jason.
than 60 seconds today. Going on 90.
Maybe these dog relaxants are relaxing data dive as well.
We are relaxed. Here we go. All
Yeah.
right, we're done. So now we've put everything together. And so the first thing you guys are going to see is what we call the master keyword list. And the master keyword list is the culmination of all the keywords, all the bestsellers, all of the information from the bestsellers that we selected. So if I just scroll down here, what you're going to first see, and I hope this is zoomed in enough for everyone, but you're going to see that I have the brand name, the seller's country, something we call outlier keywords, which I can explain. We've got sales and revenue, so the number of units and how much revenue. And then we've got the percentage of search volume on page 1. That's a really important one. It's why I have it pinned here. And then you get some more information, how long they've been around, how many reviews they have, their rating, their average selling price, things like that, right? The first thing I'm going to look at is how many keywords. There's 123 relevant keywords we found right off the bat. And there's 428,000 search volume for those keywords. That's a good amount of keywords. I like to see at least 30 to 50 keywords. 100's a lot. That's good. And here's the thing. Right off the bat, this bestseller is ranked on 100% of the search volume. 100% of the search volume on page 1. Now, that's why he's the bestseller. So typically what we will see is that it will go in order, right? Because we want to paint a story. We've got 100%. Now, here are the keywords here, and it's sorted right now by relevancy. which is our own formula. And you'll see the ranks all the way across. These are the ranks for all the keywords. And we see that 12 of these guys we would consider, 12 of these sellers we would consider to be very strong at Amazon. Now, very strong at Amazon to us means that they're on over 80% of the search volume. They've done a great job at ranking for over 80% of that search volume that we currently have. Now, this keyword list is dirty right now, is what I call it, because we haven't taken out things that aren't relevant. Sometimes there's stuff that slips in, there's brand names, there's all sorts of things that we want to remove from it that we haven't yet. But for it to say 12 competitors are very strong, even when it's a dirty list, is a lot, right? Like this is a super competitive niche full of sellers that know what they're doing. This is my conclusion so far. Now, we want to see that this story adds up. So we got 100% of the search volume on page 1, 97% of the search volume on page 1, and 94% of the search volume. Now, and it's going in order. That's fine. But why is this guy right here at 45% and in 5th place? And then right behind him, you have people in the 90s. Now, his average ranks aren't better, but he's got what we call outlier keywords. He's got 355,000 additional search volume that he's ranked towards the middle or top of page 1. So we want to see what those are. So we're going to go over here really quick to the outlier keywords, and we want to see what are the different keywords that maybe only a couple of these guys are taking advantage of that we want to see. And you'll see right away some of these answers. So I can sort by search volume. Now, the biggest one right away that this guy's ranked for, that no one else is ranked for, is dog bones. So you'll see what's interesting is that he's more of a bone and the other one's the soft chews. So we kind of included him. These are calming sticks, not calming chews. Now, I used to call a chew like a stick as well. So maybe they're interchangeable for people. But this guy is specifically selling something that's more of a dog bone. And he's able to rank for the generic dog bone, even with a calming style, which is really powerful. So even though he's number 29, he's not going to get a large share of this 176,000 monthly searches in those sales that drives. He's still going to get a good amount of them. And that's one of the reasons that he's getting extra. Now, he's got another 175,000. So what else is he doing right? So if we scroll down here, I just sorted by his ranks. I want to see what else is he ranked well for. He's number 2 for smart sticks for dogs. He's ranked number 4 for dog chew sticks and smart bones. Branded search, brand names, smart bones. That's a lot of branded search. So that immediately tells me that this guy is probably sold in stores. He's probably sold in Pet Supermarket. He's sold in Walmart, or he's selling online somewhere else, and people go check Amazon and look for him on Amazon as an alternative way to buy it. Now, so there's that. Those are the main ways people are going to have branded search. Branded search is because they have a customer base that's aware of them from retail stores, or they're running ads directly to their website, and people don't trust their website, so they go search on Amazon. We call that a halo effect. Now, this is a lot of searches per month. These are big numbers here. So I'm guessing that they are in retail store. And if you go and Google smart bones, you'll probably find they're in Walmart, Target, Pet Supermarket, PetSmart. They're all over retail. Yeah, Casey's saying they're all over retail. So that explains why they're not as good at Amazon. And remember, they're only at 45% of the relevant search term on Amazon, the organic ways people are searching on Amazon. So they're not nearly as good as all these other guys around them. But because they have a brand name that people trust and search for because of their retail presence, they are still able to gather 9,000 sales a month, which is a lot. It's 5th best, right? Now, if they were good at Amazon and in retail, forget about it. They would easily be the best seller, right? So that's the difference. That's what we're looking for. So we really want to understand, like, what are these outlier keywords? So now we're painting a complete picture. We really understand how are the current bestsellers getting their sales? How competitive is the market? What can they do better? And you'll see here that, as I was telling you, you could really win big if you can combine dog and cat keywords. That's exactly what the bestseller has done. he has managed to, even though he's got a little doggy here, I imagine that he's got cat variations on his listing. And if I go look at him, I'm going to go look at tear down his listing right now. I guarantee he's got ones with cats on it, and he's targeting cats on the same listing to combine the conversion rate, to combine the sales, and to really try to maintain an advantage. So what we'll do is we'll go over here to the deep dive. We don't have specific sales per keyword yet. It's in the works. The other thing that I want you to notice is that we give you is this search volume trends. So you'll see that over the last 5 years, calming dog treats have gone way up. Now we have some spikes here. You'll see at different times. It seems like 4th of July, right? I was wondering why July is a big spike. Fireworks scare the shit out of dogs and make them really nervous. So a lot of people before 4th of July will buy calming dog treats. And they will, and you see that massive spike every July. So that's a really, really nice thing to know. So by looking at keyword trends over time as an aggregate for Google and for Amazon, you can really understand seasonality and different spikes in demand. If I didn't know this about this treat and I just started selling it, and then July comes around and I sell out of inventory, now we're where we were talking about earlier, which is we run out of stock, and it's really bad for us, right? So let's take a look at this number one seller. Look how many variations they have. They have all these variations. And another big tip for you is if you're going to enter a market that has a lot of variations amongst all of your best sellers, you cannot beat them if you only launch one style or one variation. Naturally, the conversion rate on the listings will go higher the more variations you have, and you really start to see that tilt after 4 or 5 variations. And that's going to keep them ahead of you. You're not going to be able to compete. If someone clicks on yours and they don't like the one offer you have, they're going to bounce. But if you have 10 offers, they're going to find something that they want more times than not, right? It's going to be more likely. So you need to be able, if you see everyone's got variations, like all of these best sellers do, you need to have variations too. You wouldn't enter this market with just a one-off product. You're just asking to lose. Now, this guy's cheating because he's got a spray with his treats, right? So that's cheating. That is not a valid variation. Now, he might try to get away with it by calling it an accessory, but it's not. It's not. It doesn't work. And most of these are sprays. Now you've got this one, and this one has a little cat on it. So if we click on this one, you see the little cat and kitten. And so you'll see stress in cats. So this is his cat variation. And that's why he's able to rank well for cats and dogs. And as an aggregate of all of his variations, he's got more sales than everybody else. And he's on 100% of that search volume on these relevant keywords. So we're really understanding what are people doing right and wrong. This guy's doing some really great things right, because we can really start to reverse engineer it and start to get our own game plan going, right? Now let's look at content. So if I hit this collapse all button, I can really go in and I can see, okay, how good are these main images? Now, there are studies around, and I guarantee, like this guy being the second bestseller and being really good at Amazon, they designed no less than 5 to 10 images for their bag with a bunch of different types of dogs in different positions. And then they tested them over and over and over again. And that's why that's why you can win if you're very, very diligent around testing content. Now, you got this little dog here. Imagine if it's a different dog. Will it convert better? Will it get you more clicks or less clicks, right?
Brandon, would you use PickFu, or how would you split test?
Yeah, PickFu is great. IntelliV is great. But I know, we use PickFu internally. We're experimenting on some other things, but those guys are good, and it's fast, right?
Yeah. Right.
Splitly, I don't love. I love testing before I even throw it into the audience. And then within a day, you can really see the click-through rate differences on a main image. So you really don't want to test for too long. I know that when Amazon runs experiments, it can be 2 weeks or more. That's too long, right? I really want to know ahead of time, like really fast, is this image better or is this one better? Now, if they're close in testing on from an audience perspective, then we can throw it in and see if it bumps the click-through rate. You just got to try to incrementally get better and better. Now, I'm looking at these second main images and I'm trying to understand, like, what are these guys doing better at the top? What are they doing right? Now, remember, this is the one that's in retail. By far the worst listing. All he does is have pictures of the bag and pictures of the products. You'll notice that this guy has a benefit to the buyer. He's got lifestyle images. He's got infographics. He's got everything much better designed than everybody else. And so does this one. But this one, who's relying on his retail presence, is just not very good, right? And if you go and you look at their listing, I can imagine that chicken, chamomile, and lavender. That's really interesting. So I can imagine that they don't have really big bullets. As a matter of fact, do they have any bullets? You have to about this item. Here's their bullets. Look how short these are. You get 150 or more characters, 200 characters per bullet. And they've written age range description, adult, now made in Vietnam, made with real chicken, rawhide free, easy to digest. These are not keywords people are searching for. You can elaborate on this. People are going to read these things. You're going to be able to get more indexing and you're going to be able to rank for more keywords if you use your bullets effectively. You're going to be able to convert higher because you're going to be able to tell a story that people want to hear about your product. So this is just terrible, right? So this is what they're doing wrong. Now, one of the things, let's use them as a case study because we know their listing's terrible. So let's see which of the relevant keywords they're not ranked well for that they could be and why. Now, one of the things I like to look for are what we call root words. These are repeated words and phrases. So if we go here to our roots, what we're going to see is all these keywords, we're going to break them down and we're going to understand what are the different words and phrases that are repeated throughout all of those. So we're seeing calming chew is the biggest relevant root. And what I call a relevant root would be one that if I search that term, my product could show up for it. So my product is a calming chew. So that's a relevant root. 21 times it shows up in our keyword list for 196,000. Now, what I really love about this product is that the distribution of search volume is pretty good, right? 200, 190, 170. A bunch of these roots have over 100,000, like are within 100,000 of each other. It's not like you got 2 million and then you got nothing, right? So I like when there's a nice distribution there and that they're spread out because I'm good at finding these roots. So I want to play to my strengths. Now, chew dog is not a relevant root, but calming chew dog is, right? So if I select the ones that are relevant, I can really understand 13 times. Anxiety is not, treat is not, dog calming is not, relief, anxiety relief is not, dog anxiety could be, calming treat, I would say, dog calming treat, dog anxiety, we'll go with dog anxiety, dog calming chew, dog chew, dog anxiety. Now, this is a broad match of something else, but I'm okay with it because there are exact keywords. I want to have my keywords in exact order, so I think it's good. Calming dog chew for anxiety. Let's see. Calming dog treat, dog treat, relief dog, calming treat dog, hemp calming chew. I don't know if you can use hemp, but maybe you can. Paw calming bite. Hemp calming chew dog. Now it says it's written like this because we've normalized it. And normalize it means we take out the conjunctions and the plurals because we want to make sure that we get the most raw data. So this would really be like hemp calming chews for dogs, probably, right? And there's the unique normalized keywords here. Zesty paw, calming bite. This is a brand name. So if I want to take out zesty, I can put it here out of a phrase, and I can remove all the zesty from my keyword list. So I'm also looking for things to remove to clean up my list while I'm doing this. But I really see a lot of root words, which is really good. Now that we kind of have an idea of the root words, let's go back to this master keyword list and let's see what this guy's doing right and wrong. So here's pet naturals. We're going to sort by search volume. And let's see. He's number 65 for hemp calming chews. Now, I didn't see a hemp as a style that he sells, so I'm going to give him a pass there. As a matter of fact, let me take hemp out. Because maybe we're not going to sell a hemp version. So we take hemp out, but he's not indexed at all for this one. What is this one? Dog separation anxiety relief. So this is about a specific condition that dogs get anxiety around, and it's searched 3,000 times a month. And what's interesting is even the best sellers are not doing a good job ranking on it. These later sellers are. You've got 9, 6, 10. And this is exactly what I was talking about before, where there's a whole set of root words or conditions or styles that people are thinking about, like trying to sell their product for, like the need, that's different from the one that we found everyone on. And so these other sellers are meeting one need, and they're doing a good job of it. They're selling 5,000, 4,000 units. And these best sellers are not, right? They're 37, 39, 29. And so what's interesting is because these guys rank so well on so many keywords and convert so well, that I bet if we go and look for dog separation anxiety on any of these listings, we're not going to find it there. And so let me see if I can find separation. So here's the problem, right? They wrote a list of things that it can be like why dogs get anxiety, but the keyword is not during storms, separations, travel, and grooming. The keyword is dog separation anxiety relief. So what should be written here is dog separation anxiety relief, not and de-stress during storm, separations, travel, and grooming. And this is a mistake that I see a lot of people make, is that sometimes they try to sell the product, and there are times you need to do that. But what you're doing now is you have a giant hole in your indexing because Amazon is not sure that this keyword is relevant. Now they think it might be a little relevant, which is why they're ranked number 37, but they're not sure it's 100% relevant. So remember the formula, that relevancy score is less than 1. So what is happening is they're crushing everything else and they've got credit in the bank to rank. But because they're getting multiplied by a number less than 1, they are not ranking as high. They're actually hitting a wall, or they're hitting a ceiling, right? And so you see that on a regular basis. So if they were to rewrite their listing and change that keyword, write that keyword into there, these keywords for these best sellers would immediately jump. All of them are probably doing the same exact thing.
Yeah.
Let's find
So
another
Brandon,
example.
yeah. I think that's great. It's like this guy is only writing for like the seller, like copywriting, but he's not writing for the Amazon algorithm, SEO, right? He's not.
Now it seems like
So
he is trying, but he didn't
he's
have the insight. He didn't have the insight to find that keyword, right? Somehow. He just doesn't
right,
have data, whatever, right?
right.
And so he's just missing this one. And that's common for all of us. Like we all
Yeah,
can miss one here and there. But that's the type of
that's true.
insight you need. Yeah. But
Yeah.
you're
Okay.
right. Yeah. If you only write your listing, so if you go to Amazon and you say ChatGPT write my listing, it's gonna sound great,
Yeah.
but you're gonna have holes all over.
Right.
You're gonna be more like Pet Naturals, where you got all these holes where you don't have you can't put dog weed, sleep aid for dogs. You're not gonna they're missing dog sleeping pills, Poffy calming. Now Poffy is a keyword. Quiet moments calming. That's another key. Let me see if I can remove all these brand names real quick. If I hit this B button, sorry. Yeah, there's 5 of them. And
Okay.
you're going to notice that, oh, here, calming chews for dogs, they're not even indexed. And that's the #1 search term, 122,000.
Yeah.
And if I go to them, I'm not going to get it. Now, if I tell them I got calming dog bones, and like ChatGPT is probably not going to call it a chew. But humans call dog bones chews, right? You should
Right.
probably have both.
Yeah. Yeah. I
So
mean,
yeah,
that
and
that's like a
that's
whole
the mistake.
nother discussion, right? I mean, you can go back and have a conversation with ChatGPT and kind of train it, like, hey, you should
Right.
include this keyword and that keyword because we also have to rank for the algorithm, etc.
Yeah,
But yeah, but
and
the
I'll
first
show
try,
you.
yeah,
I'll show you
yeah,
the trick that we did. So we take that keyword list. We have all of our roots. We have all of our titles, bullets, descriptions. And you saw me do this for a Japanese listing where I couldn't understand a single word. But if I
right,
just hit AI copywriter, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to write a title that's optimized mathematically to rank as high as possible. I'm going to have the algorithm select a bunch of keywords that were not included in the title that need to go in the bullets. And I'm going to have it instruct ChatGPT now to write my title with the right keywords. But upstream directly from the keyword research and understanding how to value the keywords. So we have a real score here, a quantifiable ranking potential score. So if I look at my titles, this guy's probably a couple of these guys are probably using using data dive because their scores are very high. I'm not gonna lie, but we have the highest ranking potential now of all these competitors because we put the right keywords in the title. Now we didn't put the brand name, and maybe we want to put the quantity. Maybe we want to include something else, but you'll see that the biggest keywords are here and the way people are searching are here in exact form. Green means exact, title, bullets, description. So this works in a way that's very intuitive. You know what you have in the title, what format it's in, because Amazon values, if we're talking about algorithm, Amazon values match type. So exact match gives you 100% credit for relevancy. Broad match gives you less. And this is whenever you make a sale, you're getting credit in the bank. The way that you matched from that search gives you less credit too. So you've got a ton of different factors going on. You've got title, bullets, description. We want to make sure we have almost all of these. We don't have dog calming chews represented, so we need to make sure that we get that written in there, right? And we want to make sure there's no holes in our indexing. And what we'll do is we'll go look at the bullets. Let's see what it wrote. Promotes a sense of calm and relaxation in dogs with anxiety, providing relief from stress and nervousness. Now, that sounds great, but it missed the keywords, right? So we go into the AI bullets and we're going to pick the best keywords. Let's see. Give me 1 second. I have it generating. Well, I want to make sure that it had the list of keywords here.
Brandon, we have about 6 minutes till the end of the
Okay.
hour. We have a couple of questions in the chat as well. Would you like to take them till at the end, or what do you prefer?
Yeah, we can. This is generating right now, and then it's going to pop up for us. Here we go. So now, calm dogs with anxiety or calms dogs with anxiety is the keyword, right? And so promotes a sense of calm. But the prompt that we used, if you look at this, is the most desirable benefit to the most typical buyer avatar of this product. So we're combining data with the best prompt to actually promote conversion because we know people want to know about the benefit to them, right? And so, but you can change these prompts. We allow you to customize them, do whatever you want. We allow you to add keywords that you want to make sure it covers. And then you can see here, supports relaxation and helps to soothe nervous dogs, providing a calming effect, helps to alleviate anxiety related. So you have this, and now you can add to it, right? These are very short bullets, but we have something that will sound great from the beginning. Yeah.
Excellent.
And then you can keep regenerating as often as you want. You can edit these here directly in it, and so on.
So Brandon, if a seller were to use this AI copywriter, would the copywriting just do everything 100%, or at the end should the seller actually go in to kind of polish it and fine tune it to
Yeah,
make sure everything?
you go in and you slightly polish it. You want to make sure that those bullets did include the keywords you wanted to include, but you got the list of them from the algorithm, from our algorithm and our data. And then you kind of just marry the two and make sure that you got it
Yeah.
right. But for the most part, 99% of the work's done.
Cool.
Cool. Um we can take some questions.
Excellent. We have several questions. I'll just go in the order that
All right,
they
you want me to
were
leave this on the
mentioned.
screen because your audience gets a discount on Data Dive and other interviews?
Yes, that's right. So before we get to Q&A, I'd like to thank Brandon for the detailed walkthrough for ranking, and he does have a special offer for you guys. If you like to test out Data Dive, we have a deep discounted offer. So would you like to tell them more?
Yeah, normally it's $149 a month. And with the code for Gary, which buys him a cup of coffee, as he says, it saves you $50 a month. So it is significant, and that's forever. You can add additional users. We're going to be changing the pricing right now. An additional user for this rate would be an extra $50 a month. We have team management, project management built into it, because when you start to research hundreds of products, it gets a little overwhelming. So you want to assign them to different stages and to different buckets and different people on your team. So we allow you to do that. But for the most part, for $100 a month, you've got your product research assistant, your ability to do dives and write your listings, optimize your listings. And I didn't even get into the product scorecard, which basically gives you a real score for the risk of doing a product. If it scores well, your chances of success on a product are very high. So you answer these questions, and it gives you a score that's either positive or negative. And by the end of it, you have a real score as to whether you should do a product or not, like whether what the risk of doing that product is.
Excellent. So I just dropped the link in the chat, guys, so you guys can check it out. It is, you save $50 a month. It's not, the cost is $50 a month. Am I
Correct. Yeah,
understanding that correctly?
you
Yeah.
save $50 a month, and it's so it's $100 a month basically instead of 150.
Excellent. And if you do use our URL, I am an affiliate of Data Dive. I've been testing it myself. I think it's one of the best tools out there, and it will buy me a cup of coffee. That helps to keep me going. So I do appreciate that, guys. And it helps us to be able to offer these trainings to you guys for free. So thank you for that. All right. Let's quickly take some Q&A in the order they were asked. Annette commented earlier, it is sold by vendor. Is that product sold by vendor? The dog bones soft?
Yeah, and that's pretty typical,
Yeah.
honestly. Like the big vendor accounts are not going to do as good of a job at product research, believe it or not, even though it's being run by Amazon. So she's talking about 1P versus 3P.
Yeah.
1P is when you sell like the big brands will sell a big order to Amazon, and then Amazon will list it and run it. And it's like a wholesale model for Amazon where they deal with the big brands, they deal with the listing, they list the product, they market it, they do everything. And then 3P is like us, where we do everything ourselves. We run our listing, we run our inventory, we run our business. So that one by vendor means 1P. Believe it or not, those guys are overworked. They don't have time to do the research. Their internal research tools are not as good as Data Dive. I've seen them. And we
Hmm.
eat their lunch on a regular basis.
Yeah. There you go. All right. Thank you. And Julie asks, why don't calming chew dog and dog calming chew have the same broad search value? Is it not broad match based?
From a broad match standpoint, it's likely, but that was a normalized broad, so it probably didn't. It's slightly different when you've got different plurals, or you've got different keywords that have conjunctions in them.
Okay. Thank you, Julie. And Tim asks, can data dive be used for people doing wholesale slash resell?
So it can be. I think that if you're going to spend the time to really get good at optimization, that's when you can offer more value to your wholesale sellers, and you can try to get exclusive deals with them. So you go to them and you say, you know what, I know the potential of this listing is 50 units a month, but right now you're only selling 10. If you give me exclusive on the listing, then it's worth it for me to put in the effort to start, running ads, to optimize the listing, to write it better, to get better images done. So yeah, Data Dive can help you understand what they could do better that you can present to a wholesale supplier to get an account.
Excellent. And Jason asks, would you say PPC targeting these keywords is better, or to do both and add it in bullet points and use PPC like dog separation anxiety? You mentioned to add it in the A plus content, but title is greater than bullet points, but greater than A plus, but search volume is low, 3,000. So how would you do this, add to listing or do PPC?
I'm looking for that. When you say targeting the keywords is better, or do both to add it to the bullet points.
Yeah. Dog separation
So okay,
anxiety
so
keyword.
there's two
Yeah.
different things here. That's a really good important question, Jason. Think of it this way: sending traffic and conversions and performance to a listing is the credit you get in the bank account for that keyword. Unlocking the keyword will be when you write the listing to establish relevancy. So you can run PPC at a keyword that's not in your listing and it can perform, but you're not going to rank on that keyword. You have to establish the relevancy by writing it into your listing in the right way in order to rank for it. I hope that makes sense.
Excellent.
Thank you, Dan.
All right. Thank you. Neil asks, as long as our listing is readable, would it be okay to keyword stuff our listing when first launching?
Yeah, I don't mind. So the studies are out that the people typically read like the first 5 words of a title and kind of ignore the rest. Now, sometimes you need to check a box in someone's mind around like a thickness, a quantity, if it's a tub, like how much does it hold? Some milliliters, for example, right? They're looking for a specific size or shape or thickness or something. You need to put that in the title. Now, you can put it towards the end as a variation in brackets or towards after character 150 where it doesn't take away from important stuff. But you need to test that because some people won't even click unless they see it in the beginning of the title. So you might lower your click-through rate and conversion rate if depending on where that key information is in your title. So, but there's a lot of times when people have stuff in the titles that don't matter. They don't impact conversion rate and click-through rate. So you really have to test your title quite a bit when you're first launching. And so for the most part, I'm just trying to maximize rank potential and establish the highest relevancy possible and then send as much traffic as possible.
Excellent. Charlotte asks, I could not help but notice that the suggested bid for calming treats for dogs is $11.19! Exclamation point. And then Jason asks, yeah.
So the reason that is $11.19 is because of subscribe and save, right? You're not trying, if you convert at 30%, that means you're paying over $30 every single time you make a sale, right? You're paying like $33 or something. Now, what matters so what happens is that first sale, you're going to lose money. But if you know that the typical buyer, your lifetime value of a buyer is 5 purchases, and they're going to subscribe and save for you. Now you've got the profit maybe after the second one, and the last 3 are going to be profitable. So when you jump into a very competitive category with very advanced sellers that have deep pockets, they're playing the lifetime value game. They're not playing the I need to make profit on every sale game. And so if you're not prepared, if you don't have the pockets, if you don't have the cojones, as they say, to enter that market or the expertise to enter that market, don't do it. Like find something that isn't replenishable.
Excellent. Neil raised his hand. He asked a question earlier. So Neil, would you like to unmute?
Hi there. Can you hear me?
Hey, how's it going, man?
Hey, Brandon, I was in your launch masterclass 5-6 months ago, and you used the term dog bed. for your
Yeah.
example. And there was one guy that was using like rabbit bed and cat bed and all these other things in his listing, and you said, well, that's great, no wonder he's doing so well.
He's crushing
my
it.
my question is, I have a product, it's like a container, but it can be, it's used mainly for one thing, but it can be used for many different things, and I'm just about to launch. Should I use those keywords for the other uses in my title and every, in my listing for the launch, or will that confuse the algorithm as to where to show my you know what I mean? Like,
it's gonna come down to how closely related those uses are. And Amazon's browse nodes are kind of tied to each other with a spider web. So dog bed and cat bed sit next to each other, right?
mm-hmm.
But if your container use is here and another one's over here, you're going to struggle there. But what you could do is you would launch another variation targeting that other use. All your title, all of your keywords are geared towards that other use. All of your PPC for that variation is tied to that other use. And they're not going to compete on each other on the main keywords that this main one is going after, right? So your hero is going to be the one that you found that is the main use, the one that you're launching at. And then your variation can be all, like, you can have multiple variations targeting other niches. And then as an aggregate, you're going to win like the other guy did, where he has a cat one, a dog one, and this one and that one.
Okay. All right. So you're saying I probably shouldn't, for the main one, which I'm launching now, I shouldn't probably use all those.
Yeah, if they're too far away, don't do it.
Okay.
If one is gardening and the other one's like food related, don't do it.
Well, no, they're all in the same kind of category, but they're different products. I'm trying not to give away my product because
How well ranked are the competitors that sell a similar one to you in that other use case? That would kind of tell you, like, if you go to the main keyword for that other use case, is there one guy that's selling something similar to yours? Are there 3? Are there 10? The more that are similar to yours in that other keyword are going to tell you that it will convert either better or worse, right?
Okay. Yeah, I get you. All right, that makes sense. Can I ask one more quick question?
Yes, quick question, please. We're already over time. Yes.
I'm sorry. During your launch masterclass, you gave away like $20,000 to some guy to start a business with him.
Yeah.
Can you do an update on that, please, at some point?
I'm
very curious.
We're in the samples phase, so we've he just had a baby. It got held up, but we've got several products that we're getting samples for. So it's launching next year. Okay. We decided to wait and launch it after Christmas. So we'll be placing orders in the next month. We're filming it. We're gonna put it on YouTube.
In the middle of a meeting, and I'm just walking away from that. That's okay. That's okay.
Yeah.
Sorry about that. Yeah. So we're filming it and we're putting the content together. By the time we're actually going to release the video and stuff on YouTube, like a series.
You are?
Yeah. So you'll be able to watch it.
Yeah. Awesome. All right. Great.
Thank you. It'll be a few months before you see anything, but it'll already be launched.
Okay. Thanks
I can. Yes. I'm just.
Okay. All right. Let's quickly round out. Brandon, do you still have more time, or you got to run? Because I know we're over time already.
I'm good to go. I have nothing else happening after this.
Okay. All right. Let's quickly round out because I got to run. Jason says, do you suggest maxing characters for title? Amazon says less is more sometimes, which is better for ranking overall. Will data diet prevent any suppressed keyword like CBD popping up?
So there is like a title density issue if you have the same words repeated many times, because it'll start to reduce the effectiveness of them. So you have to be careful that you're not repeating any words in the title. Now, if the word being repeated is dog, then it doesn't matter. But if it's chew, that like dog and chew, that might matter, right? So try to don't repeat as many words in the title as you can, because there is an algorithmic way that they reduce the value of the keywords if repeated too often.
Okay. And can data dive
But
prevent
other than
any
that,
suppressed keyword?
yeah,
Yeah.
other than that, use 200 characters. Just keep in mind
Yeah.
after character 150, it usually doesn't it's not as valuable.
Okay. And will data dive prevent any suppressed keyword like CBD from showing up? Like,
It won't. You have to be aware of that yourself. Because we just saw weed and we
yeah,
saw some forbidden keywords for sure.
yeah, yeah. Okay. Will the slides be available, Brandon?
I only had a few slides there. I was pulling from a different deck. I wasn't planning on sharing them. The replay is available, huh? Right?
Yeah, the replay is available. Yeah,
Okay.
you can watch the video,
Hey,
Jason.
watch the
All
video,
right.
take a screenshot.
Yeah, there you go. And Jason asks, is it consistent $50 off per month for lifetime?
Yeah, we're gonna change our pricing model at some point, maybe in December, to usage. But for the most part, people will pay less because the reason we're doing it is because we want to encourage team members. Like there's this sharing, and like people are afraid to add team members because it costs more. But we really want you to be able to segment your teams to be able to scale your business. So it should still be, it'll be a percentage off, and it'll still be a nice discount.
Okay. And Oksana asks, it's a cool software. It looks quite complicated though. How quickly can we learn to use it?
Yeah, there's a whole resource on YouTube. There's a YouTube channel dedicated to data dive, and Anthony, who works with us, does a lot of content there. He also does office hours. So every week they will do a live call to show you a feature and then to answer questions. So there's a lot of ongoing support and tons of videos.
All right, very cool. Charlotte says, thanks, Brandon. This is an excellent idea to take a product into a complete dive on it, and we'll reverse engineer what a great product data dive is. Yes.
Appreciate
Daniel says, Daniel says, thanks, Brandon. Happy early birthday. Yes, happy Brandon's birthday. I believe it's tomorrow. So happy early birthday. And thank you for taking personal time out to join us tonight. John asks, do you offer a private analysis option for the category before we commit to your product?
Not really. I mean, for larger sellers, like we just hired our first sales team. So we're bootstrapping everything. I'm like 2 million of my own dollars into building this tool. So what we've done is we hired inner circle members who are experienced sellers who know our methodology and know data dive really well, and they're the ones giving the demos because it's not a sales pitch. It's like, this is how we use it in our business to make money, and this is how you can use it to make money too. I think that that's better than someone just trying to sell you something, right? So we do offer demos, but usually like we're prioritizing accounts. But if you need a demo, then you could reach out.
Excellent. All right. And Charlotte says, yes, have a great birthday celebration, Brandon.
Appreciate it.
And Oksana says, okay, according to Helium 10, I'm losing my organic rank every day. This keyword is my title, bullet points, and is highly relevant. Why does it happen? I'm losing my organic rank every second
Yeah, I'm
day.
looking at your chart here. There's two things. I would try to isolate that keyword in your title better. The other thing is I would check your subcategory. Remember I told you how keywords can be mapped to subcategories? If there's two categories your product could be in, maybe the other one will be better for that keyword. So you could try that as well.
Okay, and last question from Jason. From your suggestion product on Neil Sweeney's product, would the variation be the same or use another product like the cat chew?
Yeah, it would be a different type of style, packaging, and variation. So you want to make it more specific to that audience that's looking for that style. So you would dress it up a little bit. You might add you're going to add a bonus to it, but it's going to be targeting specifically that niche. But when you get a listing with 3 or 4 different products targeting different niches, and it could just be colors, right? Like some people are searching for the green one or the black one or the yellow one or the pink one. And so my pink one, I want for girls, for women, pink in the title. I want those longer tail keywords in the title because I want to have the highest ranking juice for those very specific long tail keywords that are for that niche. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to run PPC at only keywords that have pink, women, and girl in it. And that's going to be my hero for those keywords, because that's what people want when they search for it. I don't want my black one showing up on the girl keywords. I want the pink one showing up. So you can control that if you're very smart about the way you write your listing based on relevancy and the way you do marketing. And the same can be true for Neil's product, where he can have a different use case. He needs to analyze the market and understand if those buyers of that use case want the exact same type of product, but he can change the packaging. He could, on the packaging, he could have the packaging in the image, and on the packaging, he can write that use case in very bold letters, and people are going to love that. They're going to love it more. It's going to convert higher on those keywords for that use case, right? So there's different tricks you can do to maximize your advantage over your competitors when you start to really understand how variations can work.
Yeah, it reminds me of that example, like, you know, the Tylenol, right? There's Tylenol for adults, Tylenol for kids, Tylenol, and you know, it's like different variations. You don't want to buy like adult Tylenol for your 4-year-old, right?
AM and PM and
yeah,
of course, like
yeah.
there's all sorts of things, right? So,
Yeah.
and if you put them all together and you got them targeted to the different things, then you're going to do really well. But I could probably teach a 3-hour masterclass just on variations.
Yeah, maybe we'll save that for another time. All right. I want to be respectful of your time. It is your birthday coming up tomorrow night. So I just want to thank you again, Brandon, for the excellent training today. And let me just drop the link again in the chat for anyone that wants to check out Data Dive. It is an investment, but I feel like it is a worthwhile investment, especially if you can really separate yourself from the competition. So definitely check out Data Dive. And Brandon, what's the best way for people to connect with you that want to learn more about, you know, the stuff you're doing?
I think if you go to sellersystems.com, there's a free masterclass there. Leads to all of our socials. You get on our email list. We always do live events, and whenever we're doing a party or something, we post it there. We've got, you know, 1,100 members in our mastermind, scattered all around the world. And yeah, so if you look for Seller Systems and Data Dive on Facebook, there's a group. I'm on LinkedIn. You know, I'm accessible. If you need me, you can reach me.
Okay, excellent. Thank you again, Brandon, and
Harry,
happy birthday.
good to see you, man. I can't
Yes.
wait to see you in Japan, and maybe, hopefully before that, maybe for the holidays.
Yeah, maybe we'll see you in LA. I'll be in LA in December, and April we will be in Japan for Japan Mastermind too. All right. Thanks so much, everybody. Have a great night, and we'll see you everybody at the next session. Bye, guys.
Take care, everybody.
Thanks.